Hey,
Yeah,
can you go in front of me in the signal chain this time?
but you always go first.
Yeah, but I want to try something.
I don't know if it'll sound good.
Well, let's just try it.
Okay, let's go.
The phaser is possibly the modulation effect that I like the most. In fact, I like it over a chorus. And in all my setups, I always have my phaser in front of my dirt or my distortion. That is a page taken straight out of the Eddie Van Halen playbook. However, thanks to our friends at Sweetwater and Warm Audio, I may be changing my mind. Warm Audio has been on a roll, releasing all these wonderful replicas of landmark recording gear and now pedals. The Mutation is a replica of the Mutron Phaser 2, which is a lush optical phase shifter pedal from the 70s. And the ODD is a replica of the Fulltone OCD, which is a well-loved distortion pedal. Now, I will admit that I've never played the original versions of these pedals, so I will be looking at them from a fresh perspective. Thank you, Sweetwater, for sponsoring this video and for sending me my Warm Audio Mutation Phaser 2 and the ODD to play with and show off to all you guys. Sweetwater is a great friend and supporter of my channel, so if you are looking for new gear, please check out my affiliate link in the video description and use it a lot of times. Use it a lot. Use it to go shopping. Buying from this link is of no extra cost to you, and all the sales generated helps us keep making these videos for everybody to enjoy. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna set this up on my desk for the knob tweaking session. In the meantime, enjoy this jam track inspired by these two wonderful pedals. Okay, knob tweaking time. Let's get to know the pedals a little bit first before we start stacking them. We'll start with the ODD. I am plugged straight into Studio One, into Ampere, into a cleanish Marshall style amp model, and this is my KZ Guitar Works TL Trad 22. And here is the clean sound. Okay, ODD, all knobs at noon. Okay, so let's start with the mode switch. You just heard the US setting, which gives the ODD a darker character. So if I switch it to UK, there is a bump in output as well as high, mid, bite, and presence. I will say that I prefer the UK setting if I'm using the ODD as my only drive. Check out the gain. Turning the gain up also increases some low-mid muscle. So let's add a little bit of the bite back by adding some more tone. And even with the gain all the way up, it is still a pretty dynamic distortion. Okay, now let's check out the Mutation Phaser. Okay, let me put all the knobs at noon, and this is what we get. Nice and lush, and the rate knob is something that you have to be really careful with because it can go much faster than any other phaser pedal out in the market today. Okay, so let's see. We got 3 knobs: feedback, depth, and rate. Let's play with the rate first. Okay, I'm going to turn it all the way down, just as Tom Bukovac always recommends. Maybe a little more. And then I'm going to slowly turn it up, and you can see how quickly the speed or the rate ramps up. Yeah, so that's pretty fast already, and it's only at 4. And I don't know, I can't see it clearly, but this is around 5 or so, and that is, you know, pretty much fast Leslie territory already. And then 1 o'clock and onwards, we get into special effects territory. See, I don't know how you can use this. Okay, so let's go back to usable range. So thereabouts, 11 o'clock. Like that. And let's work out the depth. Barely anything in there. And then all the way up, it's almost like a square wave. Now the feedback knob gives a vocal quality to the phasing. So if you want a subtler phase shifting, then turn the feedback down. Though it is pretty fun when it's turned up. Okay, now let's talk about pedal order. As already mentioned, I typically prefer my phasers in front of dirt. But over the course of experimenting with these two warm audio pedals, I may be changing my mind. So right now I have the Mutation Phaser after the ODD, and the ODD is set to a somewhat of a, low gain overdrive. So that's the clean tone, then pushed with the ODD. And I typically like using the US mode for this one. And then set the Mutation Phaser to, maybe 7 or 8 on the feedback, depth all the way down, and rate at 4. Maybe a slower rate. This would be 1. So what I like about this is that the phaser gives a nice deep growl to the tone, like, oh, something guttural almost. There, wow. Then usually you lose that low end frequency when you put a phaser in front of an already distorted amp. So let me show you that. Let's go to a slightly dirtier amp. then if I push that with the ODD, I have the best of both worlds. I have a nice, crunchy, and comfortable lead tone with some interesting phasing sweeping effect. And if we add a little bit of delay and reverb, then we are right smack in the middle of EVHville. So moving forward, this may be my preferred setup of choice. Phaser after distortion, but in front of a crunchy or dirty amp. Now before I wrap things up, here's a couple more settings that I really like on the Mutation Phaser. So dirty amp, turn the rate up to around 11 o'clock, 4 or 5, and then depth lower and around 7, and then feedback lower around 2. It's a nice rock organ type of sound. Now during the jam track, I used this setting on one of my lead breaks, pushed with the ODD. And it's great because the effect doesn't really make itself obvious when you're playing single notes, especially long held notes. But when you start slurring notes together or playing double stops, then you get full effect of the phasing. I also use this phaser settings in front of a cleaner amp without the ODD for the funky stabs. Okay, here's another fun setting. This is probably the fastest I would set the rate on this Mutation Phaser. So maybe around a little bit before 3 o'clock, and then feedback and depth all the way up in front of a clean amp with a little bit of ODD. Okay, so this one, while a fun tone, I would just use it sparingly, mostly for like accents and stabs. Like at the end of the jam track. Now, in closing, there's just one more thing that you guys need to know about these pedals, and it's that they take on 9-volt power as well. So I've already had these for a couple of weeks, and I've been plugging them into my power supply until one day I forgot to plug it in, and yeah. So the batteries are actually installed and ready to go out of the box. Now on the ODD, you access the batteries by taking off the screws on the side. These are pretty tight and I can't loosen them with just my fingers, so you'll just have to take my word for it. Now over the course of testing, the battery in the Mutation PHASER 2 died, so I had to unscrew all 6 visible screws on the pedal to take it off and access the internal battery. And since I had the pedal open, here is a quick clip of the gut shot, just so that you can see how densely populated the circuit board is. Now, I figured this was important to mention because, like myself, you may have assumed that there aren't any batteries installed in these pedals, and you may have already set them up nice and neat into your pedal board plugged into your trusty power supply. So yeah, before you do that, open up the pedal, take the battery out, because you don't want that leaking years down the road. Now, I'm a big fan of Warm Audio as a company. I have other Warm Audio products like the WA87 and the WA76. Standard across their entire product line are these well-built pieces of gear that sound great and are not priced high enough beyond the means of your typical musician. Okay, there you have it. That is the Mutation PHASER 2 and the ODD box from Warm Audio. Again, big thanks to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video and for being such a great friend and supporter of my channel. If I have convinced you to get your own Mutation PHASER 2 or ODD box, or if you want to go shopping on the Sweetwater website, please use my affiliate link in the video description below. Thank you so much for your extra support. And since you made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up, like, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and don't forget to ring that bell. And let me know which tone setting you liked best from these 2 pedals. Drop it in the comments. Okay, that's it for now. Cheers, guys. Give peace a chance.